Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday, right? It's Thursday? Good morning, Judy. Is it July? Hello, hello. Good morning, Indigo. Neville, I don't do yes no questions in the morning. Is my thing on? Shouldn't be. My morning live, we do personal development. So I don't answer yes no questions. That's specifically on my evening streams. So we are finishing off You Are a Badass at Making Money today. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the likes. Every little bit helps. Thank you so much. We've been working on this book for this, I think this is the third week. So what we do is we do a morning meditation and for 5 minutes, and then we get into the chapter. And I upload these each day to YouTube. I did not do yesterday's just because yesterday was a bit of a crazy day. So I'll be uploading both yesterday's and today's later today. Is everybody all ready for Christmas? Good morning, Christy. How are you? Yeah, it's a fun live. It's a good live. We have fun. We get called out. We, notice where we can change because we want to get out of that poverty mindset and into a blessed mindset, wealth mindset. So it's a great way to learn. It's, they say that you should do, 20 minutes of self-development each day, and this is just the way to start your day off right. That's why we do it in the morning. And what better way to finish off the year with how to be better at making money, right? So you can go into the new year with a new plan. It was good. She did really good. They all did good. They were down players. So just a quick explanation. We're a charter school. So and we used to be in the main school district, and then we broke off like in 2004 or something and became a charter school. So we don't always play with the counties, and so our basketball team is 7th through 12th, and but last night's game they could only play 9th through 12th, and there were players missing, so they had 6 girls, and 2 of the girls are new that could play, so they weren't used to the plays. They lost by like 20 points, but they really, they did good considering. So it was good. My daughter did really well. She really stepped up in her leadership skills last night, so that was really good to see. Yesterday was really funky though. I put an order in for groceries to pick up. I got home. My son put them all away. which was incredible in itself because I dropped the groceries off and then I had to take my daughter to archery practice, and I was coming back and gonna put them away. I came back and they were done. I was like, holy crap. Well, yeah, they didn't give me half of my order. So, and it was like all my food aside from the ham for Christmas. I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah, I'm out food and money for 2 weeks because they said it could take 5 to 10 days for it to get issued back to my card. That's okay. Everything's gonna work out. What's up, dude?
What up?
What? Hi, Willow.
She's crazy.
Let me say hi. My son brought her up. Yeah, it is. It will be. You're not even purring. Did he break you? I don't know if either of the other girls are going to come in, Brittany and Lindsay. I think Lindsay's kids are off of school, so she might not be up. My kids are off. It's their first day of vacation. Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello.
What's up, Willow? What are you doing?
Well, hey.
We'll give them a couple minutes. Are you guys working today, or are you off? I know most people are working through tomorrow. I think, or some have off tomorrow. I don't know. I know my sister-in-law, she has off tomorrow, Monday. You're working all week? Oh no. Working through tomorrow, Monday off. Did you get all your cleaning done with your day off yesterday? Yes and no. I feel that. Rory, leave her alone.
Why do teachers teach?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah. Like, all their teachers teach, but bad teachers teach good ed. Right?
I guess. I mean, there's that saying, those who can do and those who can't teach.
What's that?
There's that saying that says, those who can do and those who can't teach. Which I don't believe, but that's just, you re-energize. That's good. Getting rid of stuff and decluttering and organizing really does do a huge change in one's mental state. I'm gonna end up with a dumpster in my front yard again because I'm just gonna start throwing all sorts of stuff away. It's been a while and it's about time. Yeah, it's just, there's too much. There's too much. I mean, I could probably make a little bit of money with some of the stuff I have. Like, I have a lot of old toys of Trent's, probably even some old toys of Lex's, if I'm not lying. Um, but it's a lot of time, right, to haggle with people. Like, we have totes upon totes of Thomas the Train, little trains. We have, the Matchbox cars. We have Transformers. We have the fire truck from Lightning McQueen cars, that a kid can ride in. Yeah, it's just so much. Aw, good morning. You don't have to apologize. We're happy to have you here. How are you doing? This is just our morning live where we do our personal development. We're finishing off You Are a Badass at Making Money this morning. So if you haven't joined us before, I have all the videos from the past 3 weeks uploaded on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is in my profile. You can always catch up if you want. We'll be starting a new book either next week or the week after. I have to see what we're gonna do. I want to get a poll. I would like to continue on with this author because she's amazing. So yeah, donation is another thing. Yeah, we used to have a a Salvation Army box in our town, which was nice. I had that set up years ago, and then when the pandemic hit, they took it away. They closed the big store. I'm doing well, just babysitting my niece currently. I'm from Mandy's Creek. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you stop by. I always appreciate all support. I babysit my niece too. Every day. I'll be doing that later today. Pretty sure. I haven't been told otherwise. Alright, guys. So, for those who are new, if you haven't joined us before in the morning live, so what we're going to be doing, I'm going to start a timer for 5 minutes, and we're going to do just a quick 5-minute meditation. This is just help, release everything, clear out your energy, focus on your breath, take 4-second inhale, hold it for 4 seconds, and release for 4 seconds. And that's we just want to kind of let everything go. Your brain is going to want to think thoughts and pull you in. And just, if you feel yourself pulling to those thoughts, focus back on your breath. And then once we're done with the meditation, we'll get into the chapter. We'll go over everything. Enjoy our call outs. We're going to finish this today, come hell or high water. And then I will be uploading yesterday's live and today's live later on today. I have time to do that today. Yesterday was, like I said, a bit crazy. So I'll get everything uploaded. You can find that information on in my Facebook group. And I've been forgetting to upload into Discord, but I do have a Discord group. All of that is in my profile. So you can join us there and get all the information. Again, everything's going to be on YouTube. I'll take screenshots of the homework and upload those as well. So, it never fails. Every time I do the 5 minutes, somebody asks for an invitation to battle. One of these days I'm going to battle, just cause. Moderators. Indigo, can you put up that? We're going to do that 5-minute meditation. Do you have a chance to do that? Thank you. Alright, here we go. Release that stress, unclench your jaw, relax your tongue. Probably wants to be at the roof of your mouth. Relax the tongue and just let everything just kind of melt away. Okay, time is up. Caroline is over. There's Caroline. I see her in here. How you doing, Caroline? I didn't see you come in. Thanks for sharing the live. Alright, guys. Ready to get started? Get this book done? Like, that's all we have left. How are you, sweetheart? Got my computer back from my niece for the time being. Now I can concentrate on this while she watches TV. There you go. Awesome. Alright, so this chapter is labeled Tenacity. I used to live next door to a lady who worked in finance, who decided to start her own investment management company. She took a huge leap of faith and put up her entire life savings to get it off the ground because, unlike most people who start businesses like hers, she didn't have a wealthy backer or piles of cash to burn. She had to go to the hip, reach for her wallet, and empty out every last cent. She had 2 kids in diapers the week she launched her company, one of whom was in the hospital at the time. And because the universe is hilarious, she also had jury duty. Add all of this that she was working in finance, an industry that doesn't have a whole lot of skirts walking around in it. It was not only challenging being a woman, but it was also challenging being small beans. She told me that at the beginning of her journey, when she was looking for her first investors, she was on the phone with a prospect who looked at what she had invested so far, her entire life savings, and said, "Is that all you've got?" He passed. She hung up, burst into tears, totally humiliated, and started freaking out about whether or not she'd be able to pull this off. To provide all the things she wanted for her family, to have the freedom to work for herself, and not lose every dime she had. Hi, Victoria. I used to see her walking down the street in a daze, white as a pancake batter. Pounds lighter every time, a ghost. I'd ask her how it was going. She'd always say, "Hanging in there." Meanwhile, the question I really wanted to ask her is if I could make her a meatball sandwich. I was honestly a little worried about her. I could tell the stress was seriously taking its toll. And when I moved away, she was still wandering the streets, still waiting for her business to either make it or crash, still somehow not blowing away in the wind. I talked to her about a year later and was thrilled to hear that she resumed her ability to speak in complete sentences in a tone above a whisper, and that her business, after teetering on the edge for nearly a year, was totally kicking ass. Today, the zombie next door has increased her net worth by roughly 20 times. 20 times. She works only with people she loves. She takes great care of her family, and she never would have gotten there if she hadn't stuck with it and come up with the perfect story to get out of jury duty. Here are some key mindset pieces she had in place that helped her take the leap and stay the course as she trudged through the valley of darkness that first year. She held tight to her why. She wanted the money and success for the freedom it gave her, to take care of her family, to prove to herself that she could do it. Also, she wasn't terribly psyched about the prospect of losing her entire savings if the business tanked. She went to the spiritual gym. She constantly read books by other entrepreneurs. She had pictures taped on her walls of women who had done stuff like run successful restaurants and war zones. She memorized poems, meditated, and constantly reminded herself that uncertainty is part of the process. Everyone has to fling themselves into the unknown to get to the next level. She wasn't a drama queen about it. She did her homework. She studied her industry, the people she'd love to work with, and learned creative ways to sell by finding common ground between herself and prospects that were out of her league. Once she landed her second big investor, using her new badass sales skill, her business started flying. She got a mentor. It was 2008. All these other much bigger firms were crashing down around her, and she was brought to the point where she didn't think she could take it anymore. So she sought out a mentor who gave her great advice. He told her to go surfing, to take it day by day, that nobody wins if you quit. It will feel good in the moment, but then it's over. If your investors are going to fire you, let them fire you. Don't fire yourself. Never give up. The number one thing wealthy people attribute their success to is tenacity. Nobody achieves great success without walking through the fire. And the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is a no-nonsense commitment to staying the course, no matter how hot the fire gets. There is almost always a moment when all hell breaks loose. You lose a key client, your storeroom burns down, Starbucks moves in across the street from the coffee shop you just opened. And in these moments, you have two choices. You can either say, screw it, I'm out of here, or, is that all you got, sucker? When the pain is almost too much to bear, if your mindset is weak, you will give up and blame something or someone else for your failure. If your mindset is rock solid, you will persevere. Here are some key ways to keep going no matter how sucky the going gets. Push it real good. I went on a rafting trip down the Colorado River, and a friend of mine and I had to hike up from the very bottom of the Grand Canyon afterwards to get back to my car. We ended up getting off the river a bit later than expected, which meant we had to haul ass the entire 8-hour hike up the side of the canyon if we were going to make it before the sun went down. While still on the raft, I had visions of a leisurely hike up, stopping every so often to take a dip in the stream that ran beside us for the first few hours of the climb, taking selfies to impress everyone far and wide that I'd hiked the mother of all canyons, and most important, resting a lot. I was a far cry from what one would call in shape, which is why when we finally neared the top of the Grand Canyon as the sun was setting, I was wobbly-kneed, exhausted, and not altogether sure I was going to make it the final quarter mile without soiling myself. I remember as I was begging my body to keep it together while chanting my mantra, almost there, almost there. I heard my friend yelling a word that I knew I understood, but did not register right away. I turned around to look at her and saw that she was pointing up the hill to the bus that had just pulled away, the bus that would take us back to our car, parked several miles away, the bus that only came every 45 minutes. It was then I realized the word she was screaming was run. If, moments before all of this, someone suddenly appeared on the trail with a clipboard and a survey and asked me if it was possible for me to run that at that very moment, my answer would have absolutely been absolutely not. Sorry. And not just because I don't think I can, but because it's physically impossible. However, if the clipboard person had promised that if by some miracle I could muster up a run, I'd be rewarded with a place to sit down, a cheeseburger, a beer, and the first shower I had in over a week, my answer would have been different. So with my sights set on not sitting on a bench in the dark for 45 minutes, sweaty, filthy, starving, dying for a tub of moisturizer, I did the impossible and ran the rest of the way up the hill and made the bus. We all have habitual places where we stop. A certain threshold where something gets too intimate or too expensive or too close to success for our comfort. Crossing this threshold is exactly what we need to do to exit our comfort zones and transform our lives. Which is why it's so terrifying to us and why our subconscious minds gather all the king's horses and all the king's men to make sure we run away. We're usually totally oblivious to this stopping point and have a lifetime's worth of excellent excuses we use to back our way out of greatness. Here's your call out, guys. For example, I'm not scared of investing in myself, but that class is way out of my price range. Or I just realized I don't want to write this book that I've been working on for years and am almost done with. That sounds familiar. I want to write a different one. If you've never made the decision to make the kind of money you've never made before, blasting through this terror threshold is critical. So keep an eye out for the rallying cry to retreat. Understand that you have arrived at the magical door to the other side. Focus on this truth instead of the desire to get into bed and read magazines and break on through to the other side. Yeah, right? Ouch. As I have a whole book that's written that just needs like little bits of editing and a cover sitting in my drafts to be self-published. That's a big call out. Risk being unpopular. Successful people are tenacious, which means they keep the faith much longer than the average person does. Because of this, the average person tends to look upon the successful person before they have become successful. An insane, ridiculous, give it a rest already. Successful people must hold tight to their vision while everyone around them is shouting things like, if you say Thomas Edison, what do you think you are? Magic? You're never going to get that stupid thing to light up. Go get a job. I remember seeing one of the most impressive displays of tenacity on a flight while waiting for my plane to take off. Excuse me. A woman came bursting on with her 2 sons just as they were closing the doors, with that sweaty, disheveled, wild-eyed look specific to 2 types of people. Out-of-shape people, who just narrowly made their flight, and people who have just killed someone. We're all sitting there, a captive audience, strapped into our chairs, watching her try to find a place for their luggage in the overhead compartments, deal with getting the kids in their seats, and apologize to the entire plane for the holdup. She obviously booked the flight last minute too, because they weren't sitting together. They each had middle seats, one in front of the other, which made it even more difficult for her to get everyone settled. But her real difficulty was with her older son, who refused to sit down. He was about 9 years old and had watched his little brother climb into his middle seat. He quietly informed his mother that he wanted a window seat. She responded with something about him being out of luck and that he needed to sit down right now, to which he calmly replied, "No, I'm sitting by the window." To which she hissed, "Sit down." To which he said no, to which she shot another apologetic look down the aisle to the crowd. I'm sitting there in my window seat watching all of this, trying to figure out if I should give him my seat and end her torture, give him a talking to, or hire him as my coach. I'd never seen such unshakable calm resolve in the face of such great danger. An entire airplane full of pissed off grown-ups. Yet this kid, without being bratty or pitching a fit, held his ground until the guy in front of me got up and switched seats with him. His desire for and vision of his goal outweighed and blinded him to all other options. Public humiliation, verbal abuse from adults other than his mother, no screen time for the rest of his life. He had the stick-to-itiveness, I can't even say that, to poo-poo one of the biggest blocks to success known to man. The need to be liked and fit in. If you plan on going from poor to rich, you too must stick to your guns at the risk of being unpopular. You cannot make this big change in your life and expect nothing around you to change, especially your relationships with other people. When you change who you're being, you will upset people. You will lose friends and maybe even cause rifts with family members. So your desire to grow into who you're meant to be must be firmly placed in the very front of your mind at all times, as must the specifics of the life you're creating for yourself and the feelings associated with it. So if you have the courage to stay the course, trust that you're meant to realize your desires, and know that while you'll still love the people you lose along the way, you will attract new people who are the same frequency you are. Next, ignore the tricksters. When you make the no-nonsense decision to change your life and get rich, your subconscious is not only going to fling all your worst fears in your face, but it will also present you with what I call tricksters. Tricksters are super juicy temptations, custom made by your little prince to knock you off track and back into your comfort zone. This happens so often. I have a client who decided to quit her job in public relations and open her own firm. She was excited to be her own boss, to make her own hours, and to rake in as much money as she set her mind to. She lives in a small town where there aren't a whole lot of client possibilities and even fewer good job prospects. And a week after she quit her day job, she got an offer to work for one of the only other PR companies in town. It was a sweet deal, and part of her was terrified that if she turned it down and went out on her own, she wouldn't get enough clients to survive, let alone thrive. But she stuck to her guns. She said no to the job, and the very next day she got 7. I'm not exaggerating. 7 calls from people who wanted to hire her as their publicist. Universal intelligence gave you your desires with a purpose of having you carry them out. When you align your energy, actions, and mindset to bring them forth, the universe gets on board. When you decide to get rich, you must be laser focused on your decision and your emotional reasons for making money, because it's a matter of when, not if. Things, people, and events will show up to tempt you away from your goal. Success is all about letting the tricksters pass you by so you can seize the opportunities that are lining up behind them. I've seen that happen so many times. I have experienced those tricksters so many times, right? I'll start moving and I'll start, making progress, and then all of a sudden, like, you get into that unshaky part and somebody will say, "Hey, my sister-in-law, do you want to come babysit? Like, make a little cash?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's 4 hours? It's a big chunk of my day." So it's not that I don't enjoy it, and I will continue for a little bit, but that is, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, but who knows what would have happened if I would have said, no, I need to commit to this more deeply. So, because, you want that some sort of sense of security. You doing this reminds me of the times that I read from the Poetic Edda during my Twitch streams. Yeah, they pop up at most unseemly times, like speed bumps. Yes, exactly. You should definitely, I mean, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy reading. Like I said, self-development. I think it's something that we all take for granted or don't put the effort in. So this was a way to keep myself accountable. And I'm happy that I have people who join me each morning, because I know, like, that's just my boost, right? Well, I gotta do it because they're expecting me, right? So not only doing this keeps me accountable, but I'm also learning, and it's giving me all the information I need to keep pushing forward. All right, next up is form successful habits. When we think of habits, we usually think of things like biting your nails, smoking, cursing, twirling your hair, getting up early to walk the dog, yelling when you talk on your cell phone, etc. Meanwhile, habits make up the majority of our behaviors. Laziness is a habit. Feeling overwhelmed is a habit. Being late is a habit. Failure is a habit. Success is a habit. Patience is a habit. Gossiping is a habit. Making money is a habit. Being broke is a habit. Because a habit is any behavior you do automatically and repeatedly without really thinking about it. Most things we do fall into the habit category because most of us ain't thinking so much. Right? There's a lot of people still on that autopilot. As we've seen, we're usually in the state of reacting to our subconscious beliefs. Once we become aware and decide to consciously respond instead, we change our habits. We will change our realities, which will change our reality, sorry. We've spent loads of time working on changing your habits around how you think, believe, and speak. And because habits are so major, I want to give you a few more tips. But first, here are some habits that you're going to want to develop if you haven't already. These are some of the most common habits of successful people. Successful people take risks, stick to their decisions, set good boundaries, give back, work smart, go to the spiritual gym, read self-help books, exercise, meditate, work with the mastermind groups, etc. They delegate, constantly learn, stay disciplined, focus, practice patience, surround themselves with ass kickers, talk about ideas, not other people, get back up instead of give up, show up on time, know what's going on around them, know what's going on with their money. It's all stuff we've been talking about, but it's important to be aware of the fact that all of these things are habits. So if you got bad habits that are blocking you from developing these good habits, make the conscious effort to disrupt your flow and get going on new ones. Here are some of my favorite tips for doing that. Number 1, have zero tolerance for negotiations. Perhaps my best tip when it comes to forming new habits is to remove yourself from the negotiation process. Let's say you decided you're going to get in the habit of making 5 sale calls before lunch every day. Right before you're about to dial the phone, the idea pops in your head to check Facebook one more time to see if anyone commented on the picture you posted of your grandmother in a wetsuit. The moment that thought comes into your head, you recognize it as what it is, a negotiation away from your goal. I'm just going to go on Facebook for one little mini poo. Or if you quit drinking, it might be maybe I'll just have one little sip. Or if you're meditating, maybe I'll just stop before the timer goes off. I think I'm almost done anyways. Damn. These split-second decisions upon which your financial success rides. Not only do all of these moments add up, but each one serves as a crack in your resolve where other excuses can and will seep in. Here's how to anchor in some non-negotiating badassery. A. Identify with the new habit. I'm a successful person who gets stuff done, not someone who screws around on Facebook. It's not even a blip on my radar. I don't drink, so why would I even consider taking a sip of alcohol any more than I would consider sniffing glue? I don't sniff glue, and I don't drink. End of story. Right? Just one little quick look on TikTok. Let me just see if anybody commented on my new video. Absolutely. B. Know the negotiations. We tend not to be the terribly creative or varied when we try to talk ourselves out of doing the stuff that's good for us. We tend to stick to the same script. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it should be easy to recognize your tried and true method for knocking yourself off track. Be on the lookout for the second your favorite excuse comes up. Just one cigarette won't kill me. Or I'll just hit snooze and lie here for a few more minutes. Recognize the negotiation and do not consider it even one tiny moment, because once you get into the conversation with it, you're screwed. Just move along like it didn't even happen. Good morning, Amanda. Number 2, connect your new habit to another habit or behavior. So many of our habits go hand in hand. Drinking and smoking. Exercise and eating well. Lying, cheating, and stealing. That if you're trying to create a new habit, connecting it to an existing habit or behavior can really help. Let's say you want to get into the habit of being more focused. You could team this with shutting off your cell phone and putting it away. The physical act of dealing with the phone will trigger the mental reminder to focus on what's in front of you. Or let's say you want to get in the habit of taking risks. Maybe you come up with some sort of theme song that kicks in your head every time you're going to take a leap and do something scary. Or cheering crowd. Or the sound of fireworks. Or maybe you start associating your morning cup of coffee with sitting down to read whatever motivational book you're reading. Create a buddy system for your new habit. Number 3, strengthen your willpower. Along with staying emotionally attached to the why of your goal, your willpower muscle can be strengthened by A, anticipating the discomfort. When you know doubling your rates is going to feel freaky and scary, feel into these feelings before bringing your new rates to your clients. Hang out in discomfort. Get used to it. Realize it's just part of the process and don't create a huge drama around it. Associate your discomfort with the awesomeness of moving forward and kicking ass instead of something terrifying that can stop you. B. Find an accountability partner. We're all so much more likely to be on time, prepared, dressed in something other than our bathrobes when other people are involved. Find someone who's working to become a bigger badass like you are and ask them to be your accountability partner. Tell each other your goals each week and check in with each other periodically to make sure you're both staying on track. Remember, you've got to be cruel to be kind. So if your buddy says she's going to do something, don't let her off the hook and ask her to do the same for you. C. Envision the end result with tearful giddiness. Before you even start what you're doing, get so excited that it's not only done, but you totally knocked it out of the park. Feel the relief, the joy, the badassery first, and then get to work. So what she's saying there is what I tell a lot of people, like, go to your end. What implies that you have what you want? So she's saying it's not just the act of being done, right? You go a bit further, knowing that not only is it done, but you kicked ass. And so, you want to feel into that, whether that's you sending a message to your accountability partner, imagining that, like, dude, I did all my calls and I actually went further, or it went so good, like, I didn't expect this. It was a pleasant surprise, right? How well everything happened. Imagine from there, right? You imagine that part, right? And you're working from that state, from that end. So you're working with that tenacity. You're working with that drive, right? Whereas if you just get up like, okay, I gotta do these sales calls, and you just get through it, there's no, you're working from the state of, let me just get this done, instead of, I already got it done. I already kicked ass. I already did this. So, hi, Rory. So that's a key point, especially in manifesting, and that's the same thing she's saying. She's just using it in a great example. So the next thing is course correct. Many years ago, when I was in Milwaukee visiting a pal, we took a tour of the Miller Brewing Company. As we toured the facility, sipping samples of beer out of plastic cups, I was ensmartened about something I did not know, and that gave me a newfound respect for the champagne of beers. Some 60 years after Miller Brewing opened its doors, the giant buzzkill of prohibition swept the nation, ruining countless parties and devastating hundreds of breweries, but not Miller. Instead of being like, well, that was fun, long run, should we see if the coffee shop down the street is still hiring? They knew that when one door closes, another opens, and they looked for new ways to expand. They started producing malted milk, malt syrups, soda, and non-alcoholic beer, changed their name to Miller Products Company, and clung to life during a super shaky time. With these new products and some wise investments the family who owned the business had made, they managed to crawl through the dry desert years until they made their way to the raging party on the other side of Prohibition. They were a company that sold alcohol. Alcohol became illegal. They had 3 choices: break the law, admit defeat, or course correct. All you need to know is that if you desire something, it is available to you. Keeping that desire alive and more real than all the signs that it's time to throw in the towel eventually leads to success. Remember, it's not your job to know how. That's up to universal intelligence. Surrender is such a vital part of being tenacious. Tenacity is not about pushing so hard you push away the very thing you're trying to achieve. It's about determined action paired with availability for the new, previously untaken paths that lead you where you desire to go. Staying the course involves some bends in the road. Being stubborn, refusing to go with the flow, will leave you in a ditch with an airbag exploded in your face. Never give up. Course correct when necessary, and have faith that if you have the desire, the universe has your back. I say it all the time. We do not get desires for no reason. We get desires because we're supposed to have it. We're supposed to go after it, right? We have to make an effort. We are to manifest it, but manifestation is not just imagining things all the time. I mean, there are times where you imagine something and it absolutely does come to you without any action. But there are times that you have to make a physical effort. You have to take a step, right? If you want to be a business owner, you can't just sit on your couch and be like, yeah, I'm manifesting it. It's happening without doing a damn thing. What type of business? Like, you have to get clear and specific. And the more clear and specific you get, the more you start seeing where you need to make moves, right? But a lot of times people stay in that, well, yeah, I want to be a business owner. Well, what do you want to do? I'm not sure yet. Okay. What does your day look like? Right? So it's important to start asking yourself different questions to narrow it down. Huh? Yeah. To get rich. So here's the homework. Why did you need some?
I don't know.
I love money and will not give up until I am surrounded by all the wealth I desire. Let me read that again. I love money and will not give up until I am surrounded by all the wealth I desire. Number 1, read the biography of someone who's rich and inspiring to you. 2, notice 3 not so great habits that you've got and put together a plan to change them into good habits. We are calling ourselves out today. Go to the spiritual gym every day. What will you do every day to keep your frequency high, your faith strong, your mindset solid, and your tenacity unshakable? What self-help book will you read? What music will you listen to pump yourself up? What affirmations will you write? Will you meditate, listen to meditations, journal, exercise? Put together some sort of spiritual practice that you will do every single solitary day to stay in shape. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day, this is critical to your success. Mindset is a muscle. And just like other muscles, once you get in shape, you don't get to stop working out. You have to stay on it if you want to stay mighty. And then, of course, I'm grateful to money because. So, today we get to call ourselves out. Find where we put our excuses that make us stop, right? What's our stopping point? Right? Where's the difficulty where we give up? Learning that, right? Find an accountability partner. I think this is a good accountability partnership here for me. And of course, the groups are great. Time to hide in my pillow fort for some reading time. Yes. So, but that's one thing I would love to see happen, especially in the Discord, is us keeping each other accountable in there. Working through that, being open, like, what is it that we want to do? What are we striving to do? This is how I want to help you guys build yourselves as well. I mean, yes, I'm a coach, and I'm here with you guys. I'm growing. I'm moving up. I'm expanding as well. So I want people around me doing the same who are looking to strive. Even if you're not at this time, that's okay, right? I still want you guys here, because the more you're here and the more you listen and we go through the personal development, the more stronger you get, the more courageous you get, the more tenacious you get. So I want to I want to have that with our group. I'm seeing changes happening from the people who are already in here in the mornings usually. Brittany and Lindsay and April, and I'm seeing so much change from people who just come in and listen. They may do the questions, they may not, but things are shifting because they're unaware of how their subconscious is taking in this information. Me too. It's exciting, and it's exciting and scary all at the same time. All right, so here's the last chapter, and I think then there's like a cheat sheet at the end. This chapter is called Change Loves Company. Change loves company. My entire family lives within driving distance of the town I grew up in. And the last time I visited them, my brother and I decided to take a stroll down memory lane. We walked along the dirt trail that runs through the woods surrounding our old hood, turned down the street we lived on for the duration of our childhoods, and stood at the bottom of our old driveway. We tried unsuccessfully to find the graves of the countless members of our long ago deceased animal family, now buried beneath a thick carpet of Pachysandra, I think that's how you say that, by the side of the road. Shmoo, Little Gus, Spooky, Happy, Bubbles, Freen, Badhead, Mr. Squirrely Jones, to name a few. We walked by the Roy's house, our old people neighborhoods with the pool, who were unbelievably idiotic when it came to taking hints, as they never once invited us over, no matter how long we stood pressed against the fence separating our properties, bathing suits on, towels in hand, watching them swim. We headed through town past the middle school, where I got punched in the stomach and called a fat jerk time infinity by Ivan Scott for beating him at box ball, and back into the woods, heading towards the next town over, where the trail eventually opened up and disappeared into the massive grounds of a castle. This castle was once the private home of some wealthy founding father type people, and it was now a museum of sorts. We used to go here all the time as kids on school field trips and get educated on the history of the place by folks dressed up in old-timey clothes. They'd show us how to do things like churn butter and put a wax seal on a letter, and explain how they used leeches instead of aspirin. Back then, this castle seemed like the biggest, grandest, most colossally huge building in the world. But as my brother and I stood there, it seemed so wimpy. In fact, everything on our walk that day seemed unbelievably dinky. Our old house, the kickball field in our backyard, even the Roy's stupid pool was smaller. We marveled at this while we walked, all of it making perfect sense since we were so much smaller back then. But come on, the castle too? We were okay with it looking a little smaller, but this was ridiculous. This was a damn castle. It had some grandiosity. It was grandiose to live up to. Was there another wing that we didn't notice, perhaps? Maybe if we walk over this way, we can see. No? We wandered around the searching grounds. That just reminded me. We wandered around searching the grounds, convinced that what we were standing in front of must have been the gatehouse. Or maybe the gift shop. It must be the gift shop. But after a while, we realized that that was it. The gigantic castle of our youth in all of its Laputian glory. Oh my gosh, my brain does not want to read words today. This is how it is when you grow up in the mindset department as well. So many things that once loomed large, loom large no more. For example, think about something that was all-consuming, gigantic fear that you conquered, and that's now a mere pipsqueak of a memory, if you can even remember it at all. Your first day at your new job, having your first kid, asking your spouse for a divorce, demanding a raise from your boss, that one time in high school when you took your parents' car without permission and had to tell them you accidentally drove it through the supermarket window when you lost control, doing donuts in the parking lot. At the time, the discomfort was so intense you thought you might explode. And now when you think back on these fears, they just feel sort of meh. I think she dug out the thesaurus for this chapter. For real. My goodness. As you evolve, it's helpful to keep in mind that all the seemingly insurmountable roadblocks and fears you're facing right now on your path to riches will be insignificant crumbs falling through the cracks of your memory someday too. Your fear that focuses on making money will be fun, free slog. Your doubt that you could honestly ever get rich anyway, your worries about what others might think, your terror of taking the risk you need to take, your general feelings of overwhelm and self-suckery. Instead of getting caught up in the drama, see these limiting beliefs for what they are. As you're experiencing them, they are make-believe. Imagine looking back upon them from the future when you're rolling in the cheddar. In the future, you know for a fact that these unhelpful thoughts and beliefs are not the truths, that you possess the mighty mindset to disempower them, and that they have some serious shrinkage in store for them. I remember back in the day when I was diligently working on my rickety relationship with money. I had a hard time believing all the whoop-de-doo about mindset, all the screaming and yelling about positive thinking and faith and gratitude and awareness. Seriously, there had to be more to getting rich than that. I imagined the process of overhauling one's financial situation to be more of a Rubik's Cube type challenge, or at least the grueling equivalent of going to graduate school or climbing a mountain with a large, clingy child on your back. But to learn that the unwavering decision to get rich, a decision of all things, was pretty much the main difference between my broke ass and all the people living large and in charge. What do you take me for? A sucker? Nature makes it easy. We make it hard. Of course, there are usually tenacious, terrifying, and radical leaps into the unknown involved in getting rich. But the big transformation truly does happen between your ears. And I want to stress that it's not hard. I can almost guarantee you that you've worked harder at things in your life than you'll need to work to become financial badass. I'm not saying you won't have to work hard at all, but I'm saying that my life with money is a hell of a lot easier than my life without it ever was. Excuse me. And here's the awesome bonus prize with this mastering your mindset thing. As if getting rich isn't awesome enough. Once you start shifting your mindset and getting into the flow with money, your energy will shift and many other parts of your life will start shifting too. When you transform your financial reality, it's not just about gleefully watching the numbers grow in your bank account. It's about who you had to become to make that growth happen. You had to shed your old ways of being and grow into someone who thinks big, someone who finds possibly more interesting than you. Find your excuses, someone who regards your empty wallet, flimsy resume, and zero idea of how the hell you're going to pull this off as cute little hiccups on your path to greatness. If you can get rich, you can do anything. Because not only are you the kind of person who now kicks ass and takes names, but it's all connected. The limiting beliefs that held you back from making money are much of the same crap that keeps that 20 pounds on, or that inspires you to date people who don't like you, or that has clouded by doubt and indecision. The dam has been broken. The floodgates of badassery are now open. And your limiting beliefs have been exposed as the frauds they are. It's like when you get in shape after a serious bout of lazy slobbiness. You start eating better. You walk taller. You're more focused, happier, more confident, more energized, more flirty, more well-shaven. If you want to change your life, change your life. Badassery seeks its own level. I don't know what the hell he's beating up down there. I'd like to end here by reminding you that not only have every single thing you need to get rich inside of you right now, but you got the universe backing you up and cheering you on, just as it does for every other living thing in nature. It's like you see a friend who's so awesome and gorgeous and talented, and she sits around worrying that she doesn't know what she's doing, doubting her brilliance, complaining about her weak chin. You want to shake her, wake her up, create a PowerPoint presentation highlighting all her awesome traits. You're so excited to show her her greatness and lovability. You so badly want her to understand that she could easily do whatever she set her mind to. You want her to see in herself what you see in her. This is how the universe feels about you and your struggle with money. The universe is having a heart attack thinking about how awesome you are, and it's got everything you need at the ready to help you get rich. It's just waiting for you to get out of your own way. Stop focusing on your limiting beliefs and get on the money party train. We live in an abundant universe. where all the money you desire is available to you. As soon as you decide, really truly decide to get rich, you open yourself up to the means to make it happen. Imagine how freaking awesome it's going to feel when you beat this beast of a financial struggle into the ground. When you defy a lifetime's worth of truths about your ability to succeed, your worthiness. Have a good day, Indigo. Money's evil ways. Imagine the relief and feeling of accomplishment when you and money are BFFs, coming and going in each other's lives, happily supporting each other, braiding each other's hair. You've done the impossible before. You've gotten the job you were unqualified for. You've gotten the girl or the guy, moved across the country, bought the house, got the keys you locked in your car without breaking a window. You can get rich too. You are mighty and magnificent beyond measure, grasshopper. You are meant to follow your desires. You are meant to blossom into your fullest expression of your unique and fantabulous badassery. You are meant to be rich. So that's the end of the book. And then there's this small cheat sheet. It's a couple pages. I'm going to read that too. So we can finish this off completely. 10 ways to shift your perspective and change your life starting now. One of the most glorious powers we humans have is that we can radically change our reality simply by making the choice to adjust our focus. Here's a cheat sheet of sorts, a meaty list of shortcuts that will empower you to overhaul your habitual way of looking at things, break you out of your rut, financial or otherwise, and become the badass you were born to be. Stay obsessed with your why. Radical change often comes down to simple reminders. Remember that you have but one shot at being the you that is you on planet Earth. That you've kicked ass before and you can kick ass again. Remind yourself why you're excited to be, do, and have all that you're excited to be, do, and have. If you want to be successful, refuse to get hijacked by your doubts, fears, and worries by clinging like a barnacle on your why. Good morning. How are you, Misty? Why did you pick up this book in the first place? What excites you about making more money? How does it feel to picture yourself with the dream house, the passport full of stamps, the round of drinks you buy for everyone at the bar, the proof that you just created the reality you decided to create? Walk around arm in arm with the you that you're becoming. Wake up every morning remembering why you're excited to create what you're creating. Take the time to visualize and feel yourself standing in the new reality, and you will give yourself the power to bulldoze past any negativity that stays the course to success. Number 2. Aw, I'm sending you so much love, baby. Number 2, make fear your friend, not your foe. Poor fear. Fear gets such a bad rap. We blame it for so much that's wrong with our lives. I'm going to stay in my hellhole of a job because I'm scared to lose the health insurance. I'm scared if I raise my prices, my clients will think I'm greedy, fathead. So I'll keep charging my measly fee and continue to be overworked, exhausted, and whiny, etc. Society has trained us to give fear all of our power, to avoid feeling fear at all costs, to use fear as an excuse not to move forward. Meanwhile, when it comes to changing your life for the way better, fear is the secret ingredient you need to be a total badass. In order to change your life, you have to do things you've never done before. Take risks, leap large, push yourself outside your comfort zone, stretch and grow. All of which tend to be rather terrifying experiences for human beings. The sooner you start viewing fear as a sign that you're on the right track rather than a sign to run screaming in the other direction, the sooner you'll start seeing results. One of the most common questions I hear is, how do I know if the fear I'm experiencing is a sign that I'm headed in the right direction, or if my fear is warning me that I'm about to make a serious mistake? Sometimes you don't know. Make the best choice you can. Give it a shot, succeed or fail. Learn from the experience and keep going. Sitting around in tortured indecision is not an option. Also, get really good at tapping into your intuition if you want to better understand the fear you're feeling. Number 3, respect your inner smarty pants. There's a Zen proverb that goes something like this: sit in silent meditation for 20 minutes a day. Unless you are too busy, then sit for an hour. Every moment of every day we choose between being swept away by the whirlwind of our lives or stepping back, breathing, and tapping into a deeper, more powerful knowing. We feel we don't have time to meditate because we have so much to do and figure out. Meanwhile, if we make a practice of shutting up and sitting down for even 10 minutes a day, the grocery shopping, the emails, the getting in shape, the impending I deserve a raise conversation with our boss, all of it would be much more manageable. Trust that you really do have all the answers inside of you. Believe in yourself more than you believe in outward appearances and information. Turn off your brain and listen to your intuition. Is the opportunity in front of you exciting? Does it feel right? Does it bring you joy? Our brains, as fabulous and impressive as they are cluttered with ideas of what we should do based on other people's opinions. Our brains are so rife with our own worries that we'll be judged or fail or get dumped, and all of this can lead us away from which will make us truly happy. When we practice breathing deeply, slowing down, getting quiet, and looking inward, we strengthen our natural ability to recognize our truths and empower ourselves to be the biggest badasses we can be. Seek and ye shall find. If you're operating under the belief that making money is hard, that the economy sucks, that people are generally idiots, you will, consciously or unconsciously, look for and find endless proof that you are correct. Humans, you see, love to be right. We get into the habits of thinking, believing, and speaking about our realities in ways that create and perpetuate the reality we forget we've chosen to participate in. Should we decide we no longer want to have a hard time making money, or feel horrible about the economy, or be subject to countless idiots, the beautiful, simple shift we must make is to seek out proof that the opposite is true. Find people who have jobs they enjoy, that are fun and easy and lucrative. And imagine yourself feeling that way about what you do for a living too. Look for ways that the economy is kicking ass. See that people are succeeding all over the place, and imagine yourself as a thriving contributor. Notice the brilliance in people, even the guy on the freeway who's all over the road because he's texting. Be grateful that he's safely making his way through traffic instead of spending your energy crowning him king of the morons. Every single moment offers countless opportunities to recognize and embrace gratitude, as well as reasons to bitch and moan. And you will have the glorious opportunity to choose which you will allow to shape your reality. See through new eyes. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to solve other people's problems than it is to solve your own? How deftly you can tell your pal Sally exactly how she needs to give Brad, who's loved her since high school, a chance even though she thinks his lips are too skinny. How she should ditch her goal of being a doctor because she hates medicine and is only doing it to please her parents. And how, if she finally opened the bed and breakfast she's been talking about forever, she'd be a screaming success. Meanwhile, it takes you 30 minutes to decide what color to paint your nails, and you've been bartending since college because you can't figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. We get so tangled up in the details of our own circumstances and bogged down by the what-ifs and the why-nots that we can't see all the awesomeness we're capable of, because we often can't see the forest for the trees. Stepping back and getting a fresh perspective is incredibly helpful. One of my favorite exercises is to pretend you're an alien who just landed on Earth. As the alien, you observe your earthly self, seeing all your talents, connections, brilliant ideas, opportunities, excitement, and possibilities, and you're oblivious to the baggage and the insecurities and fears you're lugging around. Look at yourself from above, and what do you see? List all the things that light you up, all the people who can help you, all the things you're awesome at, all the resources you have, all the reasons you're so irresistibly lovable, all of your accomplishments, excellent personality traits, and perfect choices in nail colors. View yourself and your world minus the baggage, and it's much easier to see the greatness that surrounds you and is you. Number 6, intend. Instead of waking up and going about your life, doopy-doo, talking about trash, going off to work, meeting Helen for lunch, start each day by setting an intention. Snap out of your zone of regularity and take the helm instead of just rolling with the punches. Today I intend to do one thing that scares the crap out of me. Today I intend to smile at more people. Today I intend to breathe deeply as often as possible. Today I intend to speak nicely about everyone, including myself and my blowhard boss. Today I intend to do something I've never done before. Setting your intentions put you in the power seat because you train your focus on what you desire, acknowledge, and that you deserve. Set your thoughts, beliefs, and actions in motion to manifest it. Feel grateful that it's totally possible and happening, and become the agent of your own changes instead of being victim to your circumstances. It takes mere minutes and could open up an entire new worlds for you. Number 7, ask for help. If you fell down the stairs and landed on your face, you would go to a dental professional to replace the teeth you later found under your coffee table. We have no trouble seeking help in some areas of our lives, but we'll spend years, decades, and maybe even lifetimes refusing to get help in other areas that are also causing us some serious suffering. Take myself, for example. I spent the majority of my adult life scraping by, working my ass off for little pay with zero savings and all sorts of debt. And yet, for decades, I stubbornly insisted I would figure out how to get out of financial struggle on my own. I complained that I couldn't afford to get help. I didn't know who to ask for help anyways, and deep down, I was too cool to get help. To make a much long story short, when I finally could bear my brokenness no more, I coughed up the money to get professional support. We quickly discovered where I was holding myself back financially, put a plan in place, got to work, and for the first time I started making real money. If you're in a rut in certain area of your life, instead of waiting extremely precious and finite times, figure out where you can go for help and get yourself some. A good coach or mentor or teacher can get you where you want to go in a fraction of the time you may take to get there on your own. Experienced professional people can only save you from making the same mistakes they've made, provide you with the resources, insight, accountability, guidance, and belief in yourself. They also usually save you a buttload of money and time. The two things most people love to use as excuses not to get help. Also, please hang out with inspired, motivated, supportive people. We are so easily swayed into believing what the people around us believe that it's paramount to select our crew intentionally if we want to live an awesome life. Number 8, use your words. Have you ever been riding a bike up a big hill or pulling an all-nighter to finish a paper? Or attempting to please your Italian grandmother by eating all 9 courses she puts in front of you? In these moments, you most likely have an inner dialogue running through your head. I can do this. I can do this. I'm doing this. I will be triumphant. The moment you start negotiating with yourself, running through all the reasons you don't really need to get to the top of the hill, or how you can maybe get an extension on your paper, or how grandma is just going to have to deal with the disappointment of leftover meatballs, you are toast. You use the words to psych yourself up and psych yourself out. We may not always be aware of their power, but words are like little whittling knives, carving our physical realities out of our thoughts. If you don't like what you've seen in your bank account or your love life or your mirror, notice the words you describe these realities and make the conscious choice to use words that reflect the outcome you'd love to see. I'm a money magnet. My soulmate is here and is looking for me too. What are you doing in there? I'm hot and sexy and on fire. Regardless of how awkward it may feel at first, changing up your words will shift your focus away from building a case of negative and bring in proof of the positive. Words also have power to lift your energy and give you strength and attitude to push past your obstacles and create what you desire. When you upgrade your words, opportunities that you once talked yourself out of or suddenly full of thriving possibilities. We use words to communicate, and when you communicate optimism, inspiration, and general badassery, you inspire others and draw those who can help you towards you. Good morning, Michelle. Choosing your words wisely is one of the easiest, most powerful steps in changing your reality. Number 9, show up for practice. Shifting the way you perceive your reality takes commitment and repetition. It's like strengthening a muscle or learning a new language. Excuse me, or getting a cowlick to stay flat on your forehead. If you want to transform your life, make the conscious choice to read self-help books and anything else that inspires you. Listen to music you love. Exercise. Get out in nature. Hang out with brilliant, motivated people. Educate yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. Meditate. Stare at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how fabulous you are. The key here is to be specific and consistent. Figure out what makes you feel the most mighty and make a habit of doing those things. Maybe you meditate for 20 minutes, read for 5 minutes, and do 40 sit-ups every morning. Whatever routine makes a no-table difference is upping your confidence, your excitement, your connection to your intuition, your belief in what's possible for you. You're going to want to make a non-negotiable part of your day if you're serious about being a badass. Number 10, be okay with the not okay. There is no such thing as perfect. To-do lists are never completed. Rain will fall on parades. You'll say stupid things, spill salsa on your shirt, and fail to remember where you put your phone over and over again. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, and everyone within screaming distance of you, is the gift of letting it go. When we insist that flights should never be delayed, or that people sitting next to us should not chew with their mouths open, we pull negativity and irritation into our focus when there's a whole wide world of positivity and good feelings available to us that in that very same moment, feel all the feels. Get upset, frustrated, sad, whatever. We are emotional creatures and we're not meant to bury our feelings. But lugging around negativity, bitching, regretting, hating, seething is not exactly the best way to focus your energy. Make change where you can and accept, forgive, and forget where you can't. Remember, where you choose to place your attention dictates the reality you get to participate in. Choose to focus on the good instead of spending your one and only life stewing on the suckery. So that is our book, guys.
I'm a stewer.
Huh?
I'm a stewer.
So, yay, we finished that. That is incredible. I'm proud of us. So, depending on everything, I'm going to put out there, I guess, a poll on which book we're moving to next. It's either gonna, like I said, either gonna be one of her next books. There's 2 more that she has, or I have a couple already here. I think I have the Joe Dispenza book. I have Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I have The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So, I do want to try to see what everybody else wants to do. I think the next books that she has is Everyday Habits of a Badass and Being a Badass Every Day or something like that. Those are our choices. So, sorry, I was just looking. I don't want to play that. I want to download that. So, I'm excited for us. I will get everything uploaded on YouTube and Facebook and Discord. So, feel free to stop in. Let me know what you guys have thought about this whole process, what you like, what you don't like, where if there's any ideas that you might have that might make this a little bit more fun or interesting, more interactive. I will be working. I'm working on different ideas to create little mini courses each week. That I'll do like on a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm not sure yet. So and so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be focusing on little bits each time, each week, and offer. You know, you can either purchase by the class or you can just purchase the whole month, and you'll get a discount for purchasing the whole month. So that's what I'm working towards for the new year, aside from my big courses that are 90 days. But those are the little ones that I'll be working on. So, does anybody have anything they want to add before I hop off? It's almost 9:30 here. So, and if not, I hope everybody has a fabulous day. I will be back later tonight to do readings and all that fun stuff. I hope you have a great day too, beautiful. So I will be back tonight, probably 7-ish Eastern time, depending on how today goes. So, so I look forward to that. I will not be on tomorrow. I am one of those crazy ass people that are going Christmas shopping tomorrow. And I have to travel an hour and a half to get there. And we're expecting, 50-mile-per-hour winds and, possibly a blizzard. But hey, we're going to power through and we're going to get Christmas shopping done. So with that, guys, I'm going to let you go. I hope you all have an amazing day. I hope to see you later. If not, if I don't see you until next week, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. I'm sending you guys so much love, and go on and be a badass today. Make today a great day. Bye, guys.